everyone. Welcome to another episode of Nightdive Studios Deep Dive. My name is Locke Vincent, and today we are talking about System Shock's Anniversary Remaster, System Shock 2's Anniversary Remaster. And I have one of the development team here with me today, Alex. Alex, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, nice talking to you. My name is Alex, and I'm the development team for System Shock 2 anniversary 25th anniversary remaster.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
That title is a mouthful because we've had a couple of these, right? I remember we worked together on the enhanced edition, and
Yes.
that was years ago. And now we're here with the anniversary remaster. Tell me a little bit about your role on this one.
My role on this one has been programming basically, but also taken we had to take a look at lots of documentation by New Dark when previous version we had on Steam is based on a patch done by the community. It's called New Dark.
Okay.
And so besides programming, I also had to do lots of research on how to modify System Shock 2 so it would reflect the New Dark's changes. So that was a lot of work.
Yeah, and is New Dark referring to the Dark engine?
Yes, New Dark is a fan-made patch
Right.
by someone. Actually, we don't know
Mystery.
even today who is behind that. He calls himself Le Corbeau or something. Yeah, I'm not French, but I'm trying to do my best. Yeah, so Le Corbeau is an anonymous programmer.
Okay.
Behind that, and it was a great patch, and we tried to bring everything we could from that patch into System Shock 2 Anniversary Remaster, and also in order to be mod friendly, because there are lots of current mods are compatible with New Dark, so we really needed this.
Amazing. So with the style of Nightdive is everyone's remote, everyone's kind of fluid almost in where they're working. You can with their specializations. Previous to Anniversary Remaster, what were you working on?
I was working on System Shock Enhanced Edition.
Yeah.
So
went from there to this
all the way.
All the way, yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you doing differently in this one? Like you said, you had to take the New Dark stuff and kind of update that, or like again, I don't have a development background, so maybe paint me a picture of what that looks like.
You mean the how the process of bringing the changes from New Dark into the game?
Well,
or
mostly like what you look at something like Enhanced Edition, and that was like a huge jump for the game. And then maybe it's better to say what you guys did with Anniversary Remaster and talk about that, and then maybe go into how you did it. Like what's different in Anniversary Remaster than Enhanced Edition?
Okay. So the initial Enhanced Edition was meant to be only compatible with New Dark. There were no plans to really improve it a lot more than what New Dark was had already established.
Gotcha.
So the real upgrades would be that we would have System Shock 2 running on consoles, and also a working co-op mode.
Yes.
But with the Anniversary Remaster, the decision was to really upgrade it in lots of ways. So we have lots of new art. There is art done by the community, but also lots of art done by the Nightdive studio itself. And we have improved also the engine when you compare it to New Dark. It sometimes maybe it's not easy to spot that. But for example, you have weapon sway when you're using free look mode to look around. This wasn't in original or New Dark. We also have an it integrated into the game the mod support
Nice.
and some effects that were introduced by New Dark, they only apply to a certain type of 3D models. Those they are called static models. We also
Okay.
have this material improvement applied to dynamic meshes used by AI characters.
Okay.
So that was something new. You can see that when you look at new character the improved characters. They sometimes they look like they have reflections, and
Cool.
that was not possible in the original or in New Dark.
Yeah, I know. I worked a little bit with the art team when I was putting together the multiplayer trailer, and just those little touches that you might not notice at first glance, but when you play the game, you guys have done your job right because uh, it just feels better. It feels good. That weapon sway, and yeah, everything just looks so amazing. It plays so amazing. I even tried it out with the controller, which I'm a PC gamer. I know it's crazy to play with a controller, but it for a System Shock game, playing it with a controller was very smooth. I was very surprised on how well the controller was supported. Obviously, the things like inventory are a little bit harder with a controller, but like
Mhm.
the playing the game and the running and shooting and interacting was like it was really nice. It was really really nice to play with a controller.
Yeah, the controller adaptation for consoles, I really like it. I was not actually involved in that
Mhm.
because we have lots of members of the team with their specialization.
Right.
So I wasn't directly involved in that. I'm not a console gamer, so
Mhm.
I I would concentrate on other things, but the people who worked on that they did an amazing job. I really like that.
So yeah, walk me through a couple of things that you were working on mostly in this.
So yeah, initially it was basically get the engine up and running
Hmm.
into kicks. So
Yep.
uh, yeah, that was there were lots of things. Let me see if I can remember all of them. I'll try. So first thing was to make the game run. We didn't have access to official access to the source code, so we
Oh,
had
really?
to rely on what was already there. It was already it was already there. The community already had access to it, so
Okay.
we also did. But without access to the source code, things were very hard. So we had to rely a lot on reverse engineering to recover lost libraries that were not provided to us. Yeah, there it goes. A lots of reverse engineering, bringing the game into modern resolutions,
Right.
like yeah, no different screen resolutions to make it compatible with widescreen,
Yeah.
and also to look at the documentation and documentation provided by New Dark and re-implement all that into System Shock, into Dark Engine. Also the scripts, there's a squirrel script that is used by the game. It's a language used by some games, so and we also had to port that sorry, not port, to implement that
Hmm.
into the game because New Dark relied on it. And if we wanted to be compatible with New Dark, we had to have that as well.
Interesting.
So lots of work went into that, and also The original rendering engine, it was pretty different from modern engines when it comes to rendering, because it would do lots of things on the CPU.
Right.
So we have to rewrite the rendering code for all the objects in the game, and the Dark Engine
Wow.
has custom rendering code for all the different objects. So we have to re-implement all of them using modern standards,
Right.
using shaders. So a lot of work went into that as well.
When you
Uh,
when you're doing that, is that to offload some of that CPU load?
yes, we did it because if you rely a lot on the CPU, yeah, you'll get some slowdowns.
Right.
So the 3D transformations now, they're all done on the GPU and
Right.
not on the CPU anymore. So we
Right.
don't have that bottleneck.
Nice. That's that's a lot. You had a hard job. Was there
Yeah.
anything that you ran into that was particularly difficult, or that maybe like a roadblock that the team hit that you guys got like managed to solve, or maybe didn't solve?
Um, yeah, there are lots of times where it was difficult to decide on how to proceed, but at some point we had to make some decisions, and
Yeah.
I think one of them was the material rendering.
Yep.
uh, the material rendering relies on old techniques, but in order to reproduce it, we had to still rely on those techniques. It's called when you render things on screen. Modern games will render them just once and
Okay.
apply lots of things at once.
Right.
But games back then, they had to do it on steps. So they would draw the layers one by one on top of each other.
On a
Uh,
single object?
yeah, on a single
Okay.
object.
Oh.
Yeah. So initially, we had we wanted to do like modern engines do. So
Yeah.
in order to draw them, we would draw at once
Mhm.
everything. Uh, but this game relies and the new content relies so much on that, and it's not very easy to replicate the exactly same behavior using only shaders.
Right.
So that was something that took some time and several iterations to get it working. And in the end, we're still using the old mode, but with the improvements we made, that we no longer use the CPU for transformation of objects.
Right.
We still get a speed up, even if we were using the old drawing layer by layer mode.
Right, right. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, as developers, I know your job is basically problem solving on the fly and figuring out, uh, ways to fix problems and work around things and always doing that. No, the game is out. It's doing really well. People are stoked about it. You guys all deserve a pat on the back. Um, Post launch, what I I'm gonna guess here, and it's not that difficult, but I'm assuming you're post launch, you don't just drop everything and go on vacation. You guys are still fixing bugs, I'm assuming.
Yes, we're still working on that. The community was quick to point
Hmm.
some spots that still need some fixes here and there, and we are working on that. So yeah, it's been a non-stop work, but it's very nice to hear the community now. The community was also present during development.
Hmm.
We had the help from people from systemshock.org. So they were very nice to point us lots of things that we needed to improve or to fix. But now that the game's out, some things that were not obvious during development, because this is so huge game,
Yeah.
and now we're addressing them. So we're working and we're working hard to fix them.
Yeah, it's interesting with the immersive sim genre where you kind of have to plan for a lot of use cases where one person's play through the game is going to be very different than another person. So you have to account for all those instances, which is a hard job, especially on a game that isn't linear, on a game that has multiple levels and multiple weapons and multiple, and like it's crazy the amount of work and such a feat to have this thing. Then even though you are taking, it's almost harder for you guys to not start from scratch, where you're taking this old artifact and bringing up to new day standards or modern day standards, and having it not break is a feat in and of itself. So congratulations to you and the team on that.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And I also have to thank the QA team, because,
Yeah.
as you say, lots of variations of
Yeah.
things to test. It's very hard for QA, so I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, because recreating certain situations takes time. It's like I know you can load saves, but sometimes you have those instances where you're like, yeah, I was over here, I used the grenade launcher, and then this happened, and that's like 1 out of 10,000 situations, So, and that's what I kind of want to bring forward. That like that's good that the everyday player doesn't realize that, but I do want to highlight and showcase how much effort goes into making sure that when you use the grenade launcher in MedSci, the game doesn't fall apart, So um
Yeah, yeah, and that's true. That's when you have a game like this, the way it was programmed is a little unusual, I would say, because it's really we call it over engineered. So for
hmm,
a very simple thing like launching a grenade, there are lots of different systems that are interconnected, and they need to work correctly in unison,
right.
or else things will break. So lots of things can go wrong when you launch a grenade. But we worked hard to improve on all the bugs we could find. And yes, it's a game from a different time, so
Totally.
things were developed in a very different way. Yeah, and also this game when you look at the source code, it's not if you compare it, for example, with id Software games.
Hmm.
It's a very different philosophy in programming, because the dark engine is it brings with it lots of old libraries that were used by Looking Glass Studios all
Right.
from lots of years prior to that,
All that
from the
underworld stuff. Yeah.
yeah, the Ultima Underworld, Flight Unlimited. Of course, Thief, I won't mention Thief because it's
Yeah.
basically modded Thief. But but yeah, even System Shock One. So there are lots of different systems with different programming styles, different programmers with touched that, and they made it's not something very pleasant for the modern programmer to work in that. But yeah, it was a really challenge. And the fact that, as you said, the things are working like the grenade launcher, they're a little impressive, I would say, based on how the original source code was.
Mhm. Yeah, talking I had the privilege of chatting with a lot of the original development team and talking to some of those guys like Mark LeBlanc, who's an MIT graduate, and like those guys are smart people, like and like figuring out those and like solving those challenges, 25 years ago was impressive. And then taking what they did and being like, okay, how do we frame this in modern code while still making sure everything works? And again, that's a lot of work. And I think it shouldn't go understated the care that you as programmers and developers put into respecting that code and respecting the legacy of what they've done. And I think that's really important that that happens, because it's no easy thing to be doing that, because it's all, and correct me if I'm wrong, it would probably be easier to start from scratch and be like, we're just going to do it this
Oh,
way and bring in new assets. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
is that true?
certainly, because
Yeah.
if you use a modern engine like Unreal Engine,
Mm,
everything is there for you. You just have
yeah.
to worry about the game itself and not
Yeah.
about the systems that make it work.
Yeah.
And also the game, you will have the liberty to implement the game code the way you want, so
Yeah.
you don't have to adhere to 1990s standards. Yeah, it's a lot easier, I would say. It's also I think that replicating a game like System Shock 2, even though it's easier from this point of view, it would also be an impressive feature, because this
Yeah.
game is too complex to be even re-implemented
Right.
into a new engine.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with all the different systems, hence the name System Shock.
Yeah.
Um, if what would you hope to say, or what would you hope a new player, someone who hasn't played System Shock 2 before, what would you hope um, to say to them, or what would you hope that they got out of this iteration of the game?
A new player, I think, what to get from this iteration. Um,
Because
I don't know.
I know a lot of the people that you're working with, a lot of the community people that know this game in and out and through and
Mhm.
through. That is a huge part of the audience. I get that, but someone come to this game being like, "Hey, I've played BioShock. What's this System Shock game all about?" Yeah. What would you hope that they got out of this?
I think I would hope that they would come to appreciate where all the things that they see in modern games came from when you're talking about immersive sims.
Hmm.
Because this game, for some people, is the immersive sim in its excellence. It's what immersive sims all based on, and well, you'll have the opportunity to face what some consider to be the best villain from all the games.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would also like to to tell them that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an impressive journey, and I'm really sure you won't regret playing it.
Absolutely. Just a couple quick things here before I let you go. Do you have a favorite a level or area in the System Shock?
I I do have a favorite area. I really like the recreation. I
Mm,
think I feel like if I would ever create a starship, I would like it to have a recreation section like that. I think
nice,
I
nice.
feel I feel a little at home when I'm playing recreation.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a favorite weapon or psi amp ability?
Uh, I I'm not a SciAmp
Hmm.
user,
Hmm.
so but I always liked, even though it's not very useful in the game. I feel really powerful when I use it to grab things from distance.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
totally.
I
Yeah,
really
just being
like
able to, Spider-Man shoot your web out and
that.
grab it, or obviously it's telekinesis, but amazing.
and,
And
and
and yeah, yeah,
and my
sorry.
favorite, just tell my favorite weapon. I think that's an easy one. That's the weapon I use the most. That's the range. I really love the range.
Yeah. I love getting the wrench upgrade and just bonking everything on the head. You start it's full wrench playthrough is pretty funny too.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do it that way, but amazing. And do you, besides System Shock, do you have any favorite sci-fi games or movies?
I love sci-fi, but I'm really into like a Victorian sci-fi,
Hmm.
like Jules Verne.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I Yeah, and I also like the H.P. Lovecraft.
Yep.
I don't think you can call it very sci-fi, but
Hmm.
at some point I think that there's a mix in that with
Well, with the
sci-fi.
when you start to get into the cosmos and some of that eldritch stuff is pretty, it's dealing with things beyond our world.
Yeah. But
Amazing.
yeah, there's those are real inspirations for me. But if we're talking about modern sci-fi with lasers, laser pistols, and things like that, I really like the first the first three Star Wars
Yeah,
movies. The first words from back
nice.
1977,
Yeah, yeah.
1980, and 1983.
Amazing.
Those are I cannot say that they didn't affect me. They did.
Nice. Nice. Was there anything else you wanted to touch upon before we call it a day?
Yeah,
Please,
I
the
would
floor is
like
all
to
yours.
say I would like to say something about the game,
Yeah.
but I'm afraid that I'll hit spoilers.
Oh, that's
So
okay. That's
uh,
okay.
okay.
If you don't want to hear about the game, you can skip this part, and I'll have
Yeah, okay.
timestamps that people can skip this part.
So there's something that never happened to me in another game. I was playing System Shock 2, and at some point, I was feeling really sorry for Delacroix. I don't know
Okay.
why this happened, but it was like she was real at some point.
Hmm.
Sometimes I try to think why that happened. Maybe because the sound in this game is very creepy, and it can feel very real, at least for me.
Yeah.
I think the audio logs, they add up to the feeling that it's somehow real.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt for her as if she was a real person, and I was so sad when she died.
Yeah. Yeah. The Shodan, you know, her plan worked against you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to go back to the audio, it's the audio is so important and so well done in this game, and I can't again talking with the original team, I can't imagine um, not playing without the audio logs. They used to be text only, and then I think on the first game, not the second
Yeah,
game,
on the first game.
the
Yeah.
first game text only, which is just like that's baffling to me that you would not be able to listen to those because I find yeah it enhances the game's experience so much. And then yeah, just the way the 3D audio works, where you can hear stuff down in the corridor. Maybe there's an audio log with people screaming and in the back of your head going, and then just yeah, all the ambient soundscapes of the ship. It's just yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful the sound in this game. So and
Yeah.
yeah, to your point of Delacroix, it's like it that scene. I forget what level you discovered that on. Anyways, when that flip happens, it's just like, oh man, it's pretty powerful. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
amazing. Well, I think that's where we cut it off. I just wanted to thank you for joining me today and sharing your experience of working on System Shock 2 Anniversary Remaster, and wanted to thank you again for all the hard work you put into this title.
Thank you.
And yeah, don't work too hard. Fix a couple of those bugs and take a vacation, you know? So yeah, again, Alex, thank
Yeah,
you so
sure.
much for joining me. People can go see your work right now by playing the game. And yeah, until we chat again next time, thank you again so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. See ya.
Okay, take care, everyone. Until the next time.